This is Careers Cast, a podcast for students and early career professionals who want to develop a successful and meaningful long-term career in technology. I'm your host, Marcio Saito. Hello and welcome to this episode of Careers Cast. Today we're going to talk about how you can analyze, evaluate, and compare the financial conditions or the compensation package that's included with job offers you receive to join a company as an employee. And in our space, most job offers will include four components of compensation. The first component is the easiest one, is the simplest one, is the base salary, right? So if you're joining a company as an employee, your job offer might say, we are offering you a base salary of $100,000 a year. That's going to be paid bi-weekly or monthly, the two most common options. And what that means is that every 2 weeks or every month you work for the company, there'll be a cash payment deposited to your account, which is basically your annual base salary divided by the pay period. You need to be aware that there might be some tax withholding, so you're going to pay taxes, so you're not going to receive 100%, you're going to receive a portion of that. And then that's the money you rely on for daily expenses, for cost of living, for savings, right? And but it's money that you can expect to receive for each period you work for the company. Pretty much every company will offer you some additional benefits. In the US, health insurance premium payments is a common and very important component of your benefit package, but especially large companies might offer additional benefits. They might, for example, subsidize payments for additional education. They might offer you a very liberal vacation package and things like that, right? So those components, the base salary and the benefits package, are usually very simple to understand. It's very simple to compare between offers from different companies. The third component that's also common is performance bonus. Performance bonus usually is expressed as a percentage of your base salary and usually is conditioned to company performance and individual performance, right? So your job offer might include a component that says, in addition to the base salary of $100,000 a year, if the company conditioned to company performance and your individual performance in your role, we are going to pay you an additional 15% paid every quarter or paid once a year. And that's the performance bonus, right? Because it's conditioned to the performance of both the company and yourself. This component for operations, product development functions, 10 to 20% is a typical range. The closer you are to the sales operation of the company, the percentage of the performance related payments are larger in your total compensation package. So a salesperson might get more than half of their compensation that is subject to performance, right? If you have sales quotas and commissions, a lot of your payments are going to depend on your performance. The performance bonus is a little bit opaque because each company can set their own rules, and it's hard for us right outside the company to understand the details of those rules. So, for example, a company might say we are only going to be paying performance bonus if the company is profitable in the period, and then the company is never profitable, right? So it's very hard for us to know in advance. So if you're talking to a recruiter or hiring manager and you're trying to understand the value of your compensation package, you might ask, historically in the last year, in the last 2 quarters, did the company pay performance bonus and how much was the percentage, right? It's never guaranteed, but that will give you an idea of how likely you are to actually receive the performance bonus payments. And then the fourth and last component is probably the least common, but in the technology space is still very common, which is the stock component of the payment package. And so basically, a share in the company is a portion of ownership of the entire company. And most companies will, when as you join as an employee, will offer the opportunity for you to become a shareholder. And here we need to break in two different scenarios. If you are joining a large company, a public company that has its stock traded in the open market, in the stock market, then the value of each stock, of every share, is very well defined, right? Um, and in the offer you receive, right, you're gonna find language that sounds like this. The company is gonna grant you 10,000 shares of company stock with a vesting schedule of 25% a year for the next 4 years. And what that means is when you join the company as an employee, the company is going to reserve 10,000 shares of stock. It will grant to you, but you're not going to be the owner of those shares immediately. They're going to be granted to you in the form of RSUs, restricted stock units. That's the terminology. And the vesting schedule is how fast you're going to gain ownership of those shares. And in this example, right, it's 25% per year for the next 4 years, meaning as you finish your first year of employment, you're going to be granted 2,500 shares of stock, and then 25 each year after that, right? And once you get ownership of the stock, because the stock has very well defined share price, you can either keep it or you can turn around and sell it in the open market, right? So let's say the stock, the share price is $10. You work for a year, you get the first 2,500 shares. You can turn around and sell, and you make $25,000, selling the stock, right? So that has very tangible value. You can evaluate how much the value is. You need just to be aware that RSUs, they don't become yours immediately. There is typically a vesting schedule that means you receive ownership of that stock as you work for a certain period of time. Now, if you are working or joining a startup or a small company, a private company that is not traded in the public market, usually the company will not give you stock. What they're going to give you is stock options. Stock options is a piece of paper, is a contract that gives you the right to purchase company stock at a certain predetermined price. So if you are joining a startup, your job offer might include language like the company will grant you 10,000 stock options for 10,000 shares and with a strike price of 50 cents per share. So what that means is that you have the right to buy company stock up to 10,000 shares for 50 cents per share, right? And the question is, if I join as an employee, would I actually exercise my stock options and buy the shares? And for the most people, in most of the cases, the answer is no. And the reason for that is that if the company is private, right, there is no public market trading of the shares. If you buy the shares, you cannot really sell them for money, right? So in general, it doesn't make sense for you to exercise your shares, your options, because once you have the shares, they are worthless, right? You cannot sell them. So what do you do then? So if the company never is not successful long term, right? The stock options are not gonna make you any money, right? They are worthless. So the stock options are only worth money if the company is wildly successful, and within the period you are an employee, right? The company either becomes a public company through an IPO, a stock share offer in the open market, or if the company is acquired by a large public company, in which case usually during the transaction, right, your the company shares are converted into a public company share, and they have a price, right? Once that happens, right, the exit event happens, then your stock options become valuable, And so let's say you got that offer, right, for stock options at 50 cents a share. You work there for 5 years, and then the company does an IPO, and the first day of trading in the open market, the share price goes to $10 a share. You have an option to buy shares at 50 cents, and the market saying the share is worth $10, right? So you can actually pay $5,000 to the company, right? 50 cents a share, and get 10,000 shares of stock. And then you can either keep that stock or you can sell in the market for 10,000, sorry, for $10 a share, which will give you $100,000, right? So you spend $5,000 to exercise your stock options, and then you sell the stock for $100,000. You profit $95,000. So that's how it works. You only make money in stock options if the company actually is successful and the stock price becomes tangible in the open market. And both in the case of large companies and small companies, the goal of offering stock compensation is to entice employees to stay in the company for a long term. And of course, incentive everyone to work hard to help the company to be successful, right? And the difference is in a large company, the stock compensation is tangible RSUs, stock that you can sell concretely in the market relatively fast, right? And if you join a startup, the stock options only will become valuable if the company is successful and has an exit event. And in which case, if you join the company earlier, you usually make significant amount of money right in that exit event. And so it is not easy to compare, but it is basically a trade-off between risk and potential future reward, or in a large company, a more tangible compensation through RSUs. I hope this discussion is useful for you to evaluate the job offers you receive. Hopefully, you're going to receive some good offers as you apply for jobs. And if this is the case, please share and subscribe to this channel. Check the content in the channel. We talk about getting jobs and developing careers and the impact of technology in the marketplace. My goal is to help you to develop a successful career in technology. And until the next episode, have a good time, good luck in your job search, and goodbye.